Ever see anyone stretch like this? Maybe even you? Hey guys, today we're training on 5 of the best hip mobility movements that you can do for full range function and athletic performance. We're going to start out with these hip swivels, hands on the mat behind us, feet stay on the ground. Work slow at first, and of course you can build up your range as your joints, muscles get warmed up. This training is really going to be a follow along. Each one of these movements combinations are going to be about 1.5 minutes long. Obviously you can pause at any time, but the purpose really of the training is that in about 8 minutes we're going to get our hips feeling great. Here we went from the front hip swivels to the feet behind us. If your range of motion is a little limited, then just go down to where you're comfortable. You can also add in a little bit of glute work, like coming up onto the knees. And if it's uncomfortable on your knees, feel free to grab a rolled up towel or an extra mat or anything that can help ease up that pressure on your knees. We're going to keep going with these glute raises, but we're going to add a little circle windshield wiper in. You know, traditional stretching has limited benefits. It's poor transference to fluid locomotion and is just plain boring. FloMobility, like we're doing here, allows us to adapt, adjust, and improve our natural ranges of motion. As far as everyday movement and athletic ability go, the hips are where it all begins. Hands on the floor are just fine. Takes a little bit of pressure off. You can change your directions whenever you feel like it, and you can change your speed up too. It's the cool thing about FloMobility is you just kind of want to adjust and adapt as you're going through the workout. It's not supposed to be a grueling, difficult workout. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to feel good. So go at a pace you're comfortable with. Keep your abs tight. Keep breathing through your nose. We're going to continue here. You can even smile if you like. I need to do more of that. Hands on the thighs. That's another little adjustment. And here we go to the next movement. Here we're going to do a little seated roll. 2 steps for the hip flexors. Outside and inside step. Roll back the other way. Outside stretch. Inside flexor stretch. Just the inside, outside, inside footer movement. So we got the outside foot moving. Really stretch that out. And I say really, but again, you're always going where you're comfortable. Abs stay tight, and we're breathing. It's funny, sometimes we have to be reminded to breathe, but I'm as guilty as anybody. Focusing on other things, you find that you're catching you're holding your breath, and you can't breathe normally, or you're breathing through your mouth when you don't have to. And I'm just a big advocate on breathing through the nose. Change the speeds up here, of course. You can jump into these stretches. All right, here we go. From this double quad stretch, we're going to do a hip ham hip stretch. So we lean forward, come back, lean forward. We're going to go back to the double quad sit, and we'll alternate. Now where you step out is completely up to you. You can change the position of where you're stepping out. You can put a little support on your thigh. You can pull the toes back on the hamstring stretch for a little bit more of a stretch, or keep them pointed out. And it's a little less intense of a stretch on the hamstring. We just keep it moving. Going back into that double quad stretch, if that's just a little bit too much on your knees, don't sit back all the way. But just by going back in a kind of a comfortable and a gradual way, you'll find that your flexibility will improve. Your mobility will certainly improve. And I know I need to say this, but if anything hurts, don't do it. Seems like common sense, but I guess we always need to make sure that we throw that in there. All right, this cross leg stretch is just incredible stretch for the hips. So we're going to reach, then using our hands on the ground, we're going to turn ourselves around, pivoting on the balls of the feet. So your legs will actually switch positions, and then we'll go the other way. So we're going to turn to the direction of the front shin. We're going to turn to the direction of the toes of the front shin. Let me clarify that. So that front shin where the toes are pointing, you're going to go that direction. Hands on the mat, spin it around. Exhale on the way down, spin it around. Going to speed it up a little bit. Excellent. I'm going to show a variation where we're actually standing up here, using the hands on the ground, coming down slow. Keep the core tight, engage those hips. Really tighten up your legs. You can even try it a few times without the hands. We're going to go into a nice extension stretch now too for our spine. We're going to sit back, knees apart, sit back. It's called the child pose in yoga with the knees apart. And now we're going to stretch up. Still keep the core engaged and we keep the shoulders strong. I always like to finish with extensions or inflection so much. That's just awesome, awesome work, you guys. Make sure you subscribe below and post any comments or questions. If you like this video, check out the shoulder mobility coming at you right now.